Hari Om everyone and welcome to another session of stories from Bhagavatam. Today, let us hear the story of King Vena from Shubhaji.
Hari Om everyone. Let's see who is this Vena. Vena, as we all know, is the son of Anga and Sunita. Who is this Anga? Anga is nothing but we saw in last week's session about Dhruva. So Anga is the descendant of Dhruva. So Dhruva's son Vatsara became the king after Dhruva and ruled very wisely. Later, Anga took over the reins of the kingdom from him, and he belonged to the lineage of Dhruva. So, why Anga and his wife gave birth to a son named Vena. Vena was known to be cruel to everyone right from his childhood. He was known to hurt and kill people without any mercy. King Anga, being his father, tried everything in his capacity to reform his son, but he failed. The saintly King Anga was very disappointed with Vena's bad behavior, and having tried his best to reform him, he could see no change in his son. So, in anguish, he left his family and kingdom and went to the forest for spiritual sadhana. When the people of the kingdom, its citizens, priests, ministers, and friends realized that king has left the kingdom, they were all greatly sad. They searched the king everywhere but couldn't find any trace of where the king was. So, we all know if a kingdom doesn't have a king, what will happen to that kingdom? That is what happened in this case too. The kingdom was doomed with robbers and bad people taking over, and they started harassing the good people. Same way, after King Anga left, the same thing happened to this kingdom also. So the bad people and the robbers flourished because there was no king. So all the citizens started to suffer. So the priests, elders, ministers, they thought, what will happen to this kingdom without a king? So even though they didn't like Vena and his behavior, they didn't have a choice, but they had to crown Vena as the king. As we all say, habits die hard. King Vena did not have any mercy on people. He continued to be that cruel king, and his misrule spread all over the kingdom. Even though the bad people uh, feared for Vena, same way even good people started fearing for King Vena, because he stopped all the ritualistic practices in the kingdom, and he stopped the charitable activities, religious activities, and everything that was a part of dharma. So there was no dharma left in that kingdom. And he started telling everyone to worship him instead of Lord Vishnu. So this was the ultimate thing which all the ministers and priests couldn't take anymore. So they thought, okay, since King Vena is going adharmic ways, let's put some sense into him and tell him to reform. So they all went to King Vena and requested him to change his behavior so that Dharma can come back again in the kingdom. But as usual, King Vena didn't listen to all these people, and in the bargain, all the people were suffering. So again, the ministers, priests couldn't do anything but think about something, how to end Vena's cruelty. Since sages were all very powerful because of their spiritual sadhana, they gave a curse to King Vena and he died. So after the death of King Vena, again the kingdom was left with no king. And again all the bad people took over their kingdom and started harassing the good people. So, on saying this, the sages took the right hand of Vena as a churning rod, and as a result of the churning, Lord Vishnu, in his partial representation, was born as Prithu. So, King Prithu was the son of Vena, but he was the representation of Lord Vishnu. So, why do you think King Vena was cruel, even though he was from the lineage of Dhruva? So, let's see how he became cruel. Vena's mother, Sunita, was the daughter of Yama. One day, she went to the forest to play with her friends and saw Sushanka. He was the son of Gandharva named Geeta Golahala. This youth was doing penance, meditating on Goddess Saraswati because he wanted to attain the art of music and wanted to become great in music. So he was a nice guy and he was doing this penance on his own without disturbing anybody. Sunita, who is the mother of Vena, started disturbing him every day and used to annoy this youth. So every day she used to annoy him, and yeah, to the extent that she started beating him also. This started getting beyond control, and one day, after showing lot of patience, this youth cursed Sunita, wicked girl, why do you annoy me like this every day? And he cursed her, saying that she will also bear a son who will be very wicked and a sinner. That's how Vena was born as a cruel son to Sunita. So, this is the story of King Vena, and let's listen into the story of King Prithu next week. Hari Om.
Hari Om, everyone. Thank you for the story, Shubhaji. I hope all of you enjoyed this. We will be sharing the questions of this story in the group. Do share your understanding after listening to the story. Thank you. Hari Om.
Hari Om.